Hey Moral Gamers, we're back. It's time to tackle one of the most epic games ever. Epic, and you'll see in a little bit what I mean. It's Shadow of the Colossus for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 2. How's this game going to stack up? Let's find out. The backstory here kicks off with Wander, who is trying to resurrect Mono, and apparently Mono was sacrificed because she had some type of curse on her. So he meets up with this mysterious Dorman type creature, spirit, whatever, that tells him if he kills all of the Colossus, each one's represented the temple, then Dorman can resurrect her. So, okay, let's hope that works out for you. The story's not really that detailed, which is kind of the downside of such an epic game. The most epic part of this game is fighting the Colossi. Now, there's 16 total, each one is radically different from the next. How you gonna beat them? Well, you kinda gotta figure that out. Each Colossus has to be mounted, so as soon as you can get a Colossus to stop moving, or in a position where you can get a good grip on him, you then have to start climbing to wherever his weakness is. And then you have to figure out a way to hold on long enough so you can stab that with your sword. In a few cases you can use arrows, but you have to figure out how you can stab that with your sword without them shaking you off. And if they shake you off, not only do you fall to the ground, but you get the shame of having to re-climb the Colossus. This can take hours. It is extremely difficult, and that's what makes the battles so epic, is having to reclimb each Colossus. So the question of whether this game is worth your time or not really boils down to you. There are 16 Colossi. That's pretty much all you're going to be fighting throughout the game. Now the question is that enough for you? This game is great for speedruns, but the fact that you're dealing with a lot of, just hacking on Colossi, climbing Colossi, if that's not your style of play, this one can be kind of hard to get into. As far as it goes control-wise, though, I did have a lot of problems with the horse. For some reason, it's like they screwed up when they programmed the horse. It's not. I'm glad you do most of the fighting with just Wander instead of actually playing on your horse, because your horse just. You can see what I'm saying right here. I mean, this is absolutely horrible horsemanship. From a moral standpoint, it's really hard to find much that I can disagree with in Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, to start off, there is the Dorman guy who essentially is like a spirit, a familiar, and then he's got a few shadow creatures that help him, and then your character, when you beat Colossi, are like filled with some type of weird power. So a little bit of magic, stuff like that, a little bit of spirit. If that bothers you, then yeah, you definitely want to keep this from your kids. But for the most part, though, you're climbing Colossi, you're battling Colossi. I mean, it's person taking down a behemoth. There's not much I could really say against that. And would I let my kids play it? Yeah, I don't see why not. This game is a great title. It's kind of boring after a while when you're sitting there hacking on the same Colossus for an hour, but as you get better, you'll start shortening those times.